Get this straight, because I know you're planning to go Super Saiyan. We're not doing that right now.
All right, none of that. All right.
This is a serious topic.
All right.
Serious.
Scene.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Burt Reynolds.
Hugh Blackman here.
And today we're going to talk about dating people with little people.
Well, that's good. Clever.
Kids. I'm 30. He's 31.
32.
Ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
And the probability is that we both dated, women with kids.
Oh, yeah.
And, it comes with its pros and its cons for sure. One thing going in, though, is like, if you've never dated somebody with a kid, you have to have a level of patience because they are number one and you are number 2 or 3 or however many kids that they have. You are not the priority. But coming out of relationships like that, you do gain experience with kids. So the more people you date with kids per se, then the better you are in said relationships, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I mean, in theory. In theory.
And I agree. And I think starting it off, if you're even considering remotely doing it, be sure you're going to be honest. All right, are you looking for a relationship or is it just something physical? Because you got to understand, whether it's male or female, most of these people who have either maybe started dating or been dating for a while. So if you're sitting here and you just want to have just something physical, then be transparent and honest about it. If you're actually looking to build, then build. Be honest with people because their time's precious. You got to understand, they've got schedules with the kid or kids, life itself, work, whatever it is, and here you are trying to fit in to that. So if you are going to be serious about it, then understand that there are other obligations in their lives.
Right, and that goes without saying that if you are entering a relationship with somebody with kids, you are basically building a family at that point.
Yeah.
And to go in and go out and just be
free flowing like that,
you can't really do that as frequently as you would want to do if they're introducing you to their kids. That's a whole thing, and I feel a certain way about that.
Me too. You should. I mean, obviously, first time you meet somebody, you shouldn't say, "Oh, this is my kids." And obviously, hopefully, most women or men, period, aren't just introducing everybody they deal with.
Yeah.
This is my friend. We've been there.
But I don't want to know your damn kids. This is the first time I've seen you. It's not that I don't care. It's that, what if this doesn't work out?
And here you are introducing a stranger to your kids. Depending on how old they are, they're gonna understand and start seeing like, all right, mama, daddy keeps bringing brand new people in and out of our lives, and I don't get it. And what example does that present to them? Confuses them because you're telling them one thing, but then you're contradicting doing another.
Right, and I'm not gonna feel obligated to be committed to that just because you put me in that situation. Because
exactly.
I feel like as a parent, that is ultimately gonna be a decision on you. That's gonna be a you call. So if you're gonna put your kids in that kind of situation, then be ready for the consequences.
Yeah, precisely. I get it. And I mean, as a person coming into that kind of environment, it's then up to you to figure out where your role is. Because depending on the relationship with the ex, because you got to understand the ex will be, if they are a part of their lives, or exes, depending on the situation.
I hate exes, man.
So you need to understand that you need to lay down ground rules and boundaries, basically. So when it comes to the disciplining, the role exactly, and where you play and where you fit, because you got to understand they've all been doing this for years and have their situations or whatever. And
that's the hardest part, though, especially when it comes to discipline, because if I had a kid with somebody, having another dude or whatever disciplining my kids, I'd feel a certain type of way about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Although, if I'm not in the picture, then
do you really technically
have responsibility and accountability. There's a lot of things there. Mm-hmm. But knowing your role in a relationship, you can't be willy-nilly third date spanking little Johnny because he done ripped up all your Pokemon card collection. Although I'd set fire to that fucking house.
But it's just also understanding when you're with somebody that has children, it's schedules are going to be different. So you might want to do something physical. Well, with kids, depending on how old they are, regardless, they're in the place. So you might want to get it in, but you can't get it in when they're around or they get up randomly and pop in and out. So it's figuring out, all right, do it while they're at school or when they're at friends' houses and figuring that out. But it's just stuff like that you should also consider.
Now, I'm judgmental. And I've been...
Why? Why Triple H?
Why Triple I'm H? Judgmental. And I've been put into situations where some of these mothers haven't made, at least in my eyes, the best decisions. And they would want to do things while their kids are around. And I'm like, your kids are around. Like, I don't...
I mean, like, I understand what you're saying. I mean, there's times when, the kid's sleeping in the next room or something, or, yeah, maybe they are up, and I get it. Sometimes
and you loud. They can hear you.
What's going on in there? There's trouble afoot. Mama! Oh, shoot, man. Been there, done that.
Right. Like, it's just, when it comes to how people treat their kids, it's like, I'm really judgmental on that because I see it as decision making. Are you able to make, conscientious decisions and be able to prioritize your kids over someone like me, especially if I'm new to the relationship, because first of all, you should be dating someone who values that you prioritize your kids and they're willing to take a step back, and when they are called upon, they can take responsibility slowly as the relationship progresses.
Exactly. Figuring out, especially bills, schedules with the kids, time, because you got to understand, when you're entering into that family that already, that's established, you have your own thing, especially for us, we single. So we live a little different than people who have kids, obviously. So when you're going into that kind of world and that kind of environment, you got to kind of let go of some of the, because you're used to doing things on your own. And when you want it done, you do it. But when you're dealing with children, when you're dealing with her or him or whatever, you understand patience. Sometimes they get off work, they're going to be tired, or they're going to get dealing with the kids, whatever life hits them. So sometimes they ain't going to want to be around you. Sometimes they going to just not want to go out and do things. Like, I don't want to go do that. I've been around people all day. And you got to be able to find that compromise, that middle ground there that works for you both. So as always, communication is it's like pivotal at this point to make sure you do it. So, damn.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Patience is everything.
Yes.
Being able to open your mind up to that, especially if you don't have experience, like I said. And if you do have experience, then you kind of already know that it's a package deal.
It is. You shouldn't be surprised if she can't make a date. You shouldn't be surprised if she starts putting her, her kids are always first, or you shouldn't be surprised if she wants to start bringing her kids, especially after a couple of dates or a couple of interactions and you both feel like it's serious. You're eventually going to be introduced. So be prepared. And yes, it's going to take time for them to warm up to you. They don't know you, a complete stranger, so you shouldn't feel, it's going to be awkward at first because you're a new person in their life. So you're trying to play and figure out what they're into, him, her, or all of them, depending on how many kids are involved. You have to be patient. They might not want to come up on you real quick. They might need their space. And obviously, depending on the age, how old they are,
Right.
I don't know what kids are really into these days. I'd have to do some research, but, that's just a lot of things you need to consider before you ever consider dating anybody, is making sure that you know that the kids are always going to be priority.
Right.
And make sure you think of his or her feelings as well. You can't just focus on you all the time. Like, this is irritating me all the time with them. This yelling, this screaming. It's hectic. That's your life. It's going to be hectic. You got different personalities clashing together.
Well, here's one for you. So let's say that you are out on a date. You've been dating for a little bit, and they finally decide to bring their kids. Go out to eat. Going to McDonald's, whatever.
Okay.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I did see a video earlier this week reacted to.
Oh, yeah.
And
man.
It's like, okay, so you're bringing your kid on this date. Obviously, I'm asking you about, so who's paying for the kids?
Well, but you also got to think about the circumstances of the video he's talking about. I think it was their first date, too. So this is their first interaction. And he was, I guess the person involved said he was cool with, picking up the kid and doing that and grabbing some food. But when it was time to pay, she looked at him and he's like, well, you didn't bring no money to pay for your kid or whatever. So she felt some type of way about it, right? Because she felt that if they're a date, I got to feed my kid and take my, I don't know if they were dropping it. They never explained that, or the kid was getting dropped off at the babysitter or whatever. But at its weird. My first interaction, I'm taking you.
Red flag. Like,
Taking you and your kid out. That's a bit soon, because then it makes me feel like you've done this before.
I will leave you both at McDonald's. I do not care. Like, I have no quarrel with leaving you both there.
It's like ambushing almost. Like, it's almost like you.
Yeah, and that's one thing. You can't force your responsibility upon someone who you are just now dating. Especially, and I keep going back to this, if they have no experience in doing this. Because, well, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Exactly. You're just almost like... It's almost like you're like shit testing, but it's like, why are you're shit testing me on our first interaction when it comes to something like that? And I mean, look at it from their point of view. If, say, you were single, or say they have children, and here you are going on a date. Hey, I brought my son or daughter with me. You cool with that? Okay. All right, we're gonna grab something to eat. Okay, cool. Now it's time to eat. You got us? You cool?
Oh, you gonna shit test me? No, I'm gonna shit test you because I'm gonna see if you're able to take responsibility. Because if you're not, then obviously this is not gonna progress past the first date or whatever date you decide. Granted, if we're farther into a relationship, and then we finally introduce the kids and we go out to eat, then that's one of the things I'll take up reins and pay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But not within the first week. That's stupid. That's ridiculous.
But all in all, guys, you got anything else?
Just be cognizant. You have to have an open mind. Mm-hmm. You have an open. Parenting is hard, and that's coming from someone who is not a parent that I know of. But I was definitely a hard-headed child, so parenting is hard.
It is, and just be aware when you decide to date somebody with kids and you actually want to be a part of their lives, that the ex, the kids, it's a package deal. When someone says package deal, that's exactly what they mean. So don't act surprised if circumstances happen, situations happen. You can't act surprised about anything. You knew what you were getting into when you do it. So, all right, guys, let us know what you think. Comments, hit that notification bell. Please create some dialogue with us. We're just enjoying this. We love it. And without further ado, I'm Hugh Blackman.
Burnt Reynolds.
Outro.
Let's go.